Okay, hello, Mike. Welcome to today's video. Today, I want to talk about this one chick that was dating this one guy. So many of you guys probably have seen this story of this one girl that was dating this one guy, and she ended up basically deporting him. So yeah, I wanted to give you guys a little bit more context. So there was this one time, this one American citizen basically well, she's Mexican heritage, but she was born in the U.S. I think. She was dating this one guy in Mexico, and she decided to pay to pay coyotes, which is basically the people who like smuggle people into the U.S. She paid for him to get smuggled into the U.S. and they were basically they were dating and stuff like that. They were living together and they were planning on getting married so he could get papers out of the marriage and stuff like that. But in the relationship, there was a situation where she was basically checking his phone and stuff like that on Snapchat. And I honestly don't really know how it happened, but she ended up realizing that she was cheating on him, that he was cheating on him. I'm not really sure how it happened because on Snapchat, apparently, I used to use Snapchat, and I know like the messages like they delete on their own stuff like that. But for what I understand, it's like once you make a chat, like you can't go back to those messages, you know. So I don't know how she ended up realizing that he was cheating on her through Snapchat. So yeah, that's like a very weird situation right there. But it wasn't confirmed. She was just like had really strong speculations about the whole situation. So out of that, she was like very pissed off. Like, hey, you know what? Like, how can she do that to me? Like after everything I've done for him. And she was like, there was a situation where like, what should I do? Should I just like let him go? Should like, cause if I let him go, like he's just gonna go with her, and they're gonna get married, and like nothing's gonna come out of it. You know, he's just gonna end up leaving. Should I just like tell him I'm gonna like deport him and stuff like that? Because no, then he's just gonna like walk away and like escape or whatever. She had a mastermind idea of like, you know what, I'm gonna end up deporting him. You know, like I brought him here, I'm gonna be the one taking him out of the country. Um, so yeah, the whole situation happened and stuff like that, and she ended up taking him back to the U.S. But the way this happened, it wasn't so easy. She actually went to him and told him like, hey, you know what? We should go to Six Flags. We should go to Six Flags, and everything's gonna be perfectly fine. You should just go to sleep. You know, you need to rest. I'll take care of the driving and stuff like that, right? So it takes 2 hours from her. They're like based on Texas, so it takes 2 hours from her location to Six Flags to get there, and it takes 2 hours also to get from her location to the U.S. border, U.S. Mexico border. So it was perfect timing and stuff like that. So she was driving and stuff like that, and there was a moment when they were almost like getting close to it, and she was like, "Oh, you know what? Just close your eyes. I want it to be a surprise and stuff like that." And they get near the border, and by that point, he's like, "Oh my god!" He opens his eyes and is like, "Oh my god, what's going on? What's going on? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?" So she was like, oh, you wanna be a cabron, like you wanna be like a slut, basically, like then go ahead, be it. It's like he basically like she was basically calling him out and stuff like that, and she drops him in the border and stuff like that, and she gives him like a $50 bill and is like, you know what, here you can start from zero and I'm out, you know. So she shared the story through TikTok and stuff like that, and many people have been saying that she basically like she admitted to making a crime of smuggling him into the U.S. and stuff like that. I mean, but besides that, you know, I feel like it's good for her, in the situation of like you shouldn't. I don't know. It's it's a tough thing to have a conversation about this because if someone was cheating on me, for example, I'd just be like, you know what, you're out of my life. I'm gonna move on. Like I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna move on, and I don't really care what happens to you. But you're no longer part of my life. I don't really care what happens to you in general. In her situation is maybe different because people like after she shared her story, many people have been like sympathizing with her, saying like, oh, you know what, you basically invest a lot on this guy. You've done a lot for this guy, and for him to treat you like that or basically do that to you is unfair. And it's good that you brought justice into this whole situation. Many people can see it like that. I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm more in the situation. I'm more in the spot of like, you know what, you should just let it go. You should have just like moved on with your life and whatever. Like you just lost money on bringing, which you shouldn't have done that in the first place. You know, the same thing people were saying in the comments that I actually agree with. They were saying like, hey, you know what, why couldn't you date someone that was like in in the U.S. You know, like someone that actually lived near you already, instead of smuggling someone into the country illegally to to date you or stuff like that. That doesn't make any sense. And I agree with it. I agree with that situation. But then again, she's young. She made a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna justify it, but I mean, what else can you do? You know. I don't know. I don't agree with that situation at all. I don't think she did the right thing. I think she should have just let it go. Think she should have done that in the first place, actually, of like smuggling him into the U.S. or stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I wanted to make this quick video just to talk about it. This is already almost 11 o'clock, so I need to post this as quick as possible. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next video. All right, see ya. Bye bye.